Surprisingly, the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine still refuses to recognize the loss of Mariinka, claiming that the Ukrainian armed forces are still firmly in control of the city. At the same time, the Ukrainian military department began to report on the outbreak of fighting for the village of Novomykhailovka and the advance of Russian troops to the village of Pobeda, which is located south of Mariinka. Thus, a legitimate question arises: how did the Russians manage to advance to the village of Pobeda and start fighting for Novomykhailovka, if the armed forces of Ukraine still control the town of Mariinka? All this caused laughter and indignation in the expert community. Moreover, experts even began to declare that the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine had finally lost its credibility with such statements. Meanwhile, the head of the press center of the group Vostok, Colonel of the Russian Army Alexander Gordaev, officially announced that Russian combat aviation and artillery had managed to inflict fire damage on units of the 79th Airborne Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, near the village of Novomykhailovka. As a result of this strike, the Armed Forces of Ukraine lost more than 100 soldiers, 2 tanks, and 5 infantry fighting vehicles. The fact that the Russians managed to take Novomykhailovka into a semicircle and enter this settlement is also confirmed by Western experts. Even the German expert and Russophobe, Julian Ropke, referring to his connections in the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, announced the successes of Russian troops in this direction of the front. At the same time, experts drew attention to the fact that Russian troops with the help of their armored vehicles entered the village of Novomykhailovka, driving through a field whose width is 2 kilometers, using the same road. And throughout this attack, not a single Russian combat vehicle was blown up by a mine or attacked by Ukrainian drones and artillery. Western experts cannot understand why Russian troops began to behave so brazenly and audaciously during the attacks, without fear of being destroyed by enemy forces. Well, I would advise these Western experts not to forget that the Russian army has gained a lot of experience over these almost 2 years of fighting. The fact that Russian troops began to enter settlements without encountering serious resistance on their way indicates that the Russians began to destroy all enemy anti-tank missile systems in hidden points in advance. Moreover, before each new attack, the Russians completely suppress enemy artillery crews and drones, which allows the troops to move forward over considerable distances. All this became possible because the experience gained in a special military operation allowed the Russians not only to develop new tactics of warfare, but also to significantly improve their weapon systems. For example, the fighting in Ukraine allowed Russian engineers to significantly improve not only electronic warfare systems, but also air defense complexes. So, it became known that Russia had deployed the newest version of the anti-aircraft missile and gun complex, Pantsir-SM, to Ukraine, which was created based on the experience of the current war. Unlike the old version, the newest system has a much longer range of hitting air targets. Moreover, the latest Pantsir-SM received a new generation radar, capable of detecting targets with stealth coating and even tiny drones, flying at extremely low altitudes and at a distance of up to 75 kilometers. In addition, Pantsir-SM also received the latest missile, 57E6E, capable of reaching speeds of 3,000 meters per second. Let me remind you that missiles on older versions of the Pantsir-SM develop a speed of only 1,300 meters per second. Thus, the Russian army received another super weapon capable of effectively protecting troops not only from enemy missiles and aircraft but also from drones. Meanwhile, on December 18, European military experts from the Center for Eastern Studies also confirmed the fact that Russian troops managed to enter Novomykhailivka and approach the outskirts of the village of Pobeda. According to them, the Russian army creates all the necessary conditions for itself to attack Volodar. Experts are confident that the Russian army will soon repeat the Bakhmut and Avdiivka scenario in Volodar. That is, Russian troops will surround Volodar from the flanks, gradually squeezing the ring and forcing the armed forces of Ukraine to retreat.